I just wanted to prank my sister with a harmless joke, but instead of laughter, we almost had to call the police. And yes, it all started with one simple box at the door.
It all began in the evening. I decided to prank my younger sister Alice. She was always scared of the smallest things, creaking floorboards, spiders, even shadows. I had ordered a toy spider robot online, the kind that could scuttle around quickly and make an awful squeaking noise. The plan was simple. Place a box outside her door, hide the spider inside, and when she opened it, the spider would leap out. But, as always, things didn't go according to plan. While I was setting up the spider, I heard a strange knock on the window. At first, I thought it was the wind, but then it came again. My sister was in her room at the time, so it couldn't have been her trying to mess with me. My heart started beating faster, but I ignored it. The prank had to be perfect. I placed the box and hid around the corner with my phone ready to record everything. When Alice opened her door and saw the box, she frowned. "What is this?" she muttered. She bent down to pick it up, then the spider shot out. She screamed so loudly I'm sure the neighbors heard. The box crashed to the floor, the spider darted down the hallway, and I nearly suffocated from laughing. But then something happened I didn't expect. The spider didn't run toward Alice's room, it scuttled into the living room. Suddenly, there was a loud crash, like glass shattering. I thought maybe the toy had knocked something over, but when we entered the living room, the spider was gone. And it couldn't have just disappeared. Normally it squeaked while moving, but now there was nothing but silence. Alice went pale. "Did you see that? There was a shadow by the window." At first I thought she was just imagining things, panicked from the scare. But when I looked toward the window, the curtains were swaying slightly, and there was no draft. Now I wasn't laughing anymore. We slowly backed toward the hallway, when suddenly, from the kitchen, there was a slam, like someone had deliberately shut a cupboard door. Alice clutched my arm, whispering, "Please tell me this is still part of your stupid prank." But I swear it wasn't. A chill ran down my spine. We crept into the kitchen, I flicked the light on, and there it was. The spider, sitting quietly on the floor, but next to it on the counter was an open water bottle, one I definitely hadn't touched. And then, the doorbell rang. We froze. It was almost 11 p.m. Alice whispered, "Don't open it," but the doorbell rang again, then soft knocking followed. Summoning my courage, I peeked through the peephole. A tall figure in a hood was standing outside. I couldn't see their face. They just stood there, motionless, staring into the peephole. Alice started to panic, reaching for her phone to call Mom, but when I turned away for a split second and looked again, the person was gone. I quickly opened the door, but the hallway was empty. No footsteps, no elevator, nothing. When I came back, Alice was sitting on the floor holding the spider. Her voice was trembling. It turned itself back on. The toy was squeaking again even though I had taken the batteries out earlier to control the prank. I didn't even have time to answer before the TV in the living room flickered on. Static filled the screen, just like in old horror movies. We turned off all the lights and hid in the hallway, trying not to make a sound. At that moment, I realized my silly prank had spiraled into something far darker. We didn't sleep all night. The TV turned itself on twice more, and the spider somehow moved around on its own. In the morning, when our parents got back, the glass vase in the living room really was broken. I tried to tell them everything, but they just laughed it off and said, "See? That's what happens when you mess with your sister." But the scariest part came later. When Alice returned from school, she showed me a photo on her phone. It had been taken right outside our apartment door. The photo showed both of us peeking nervously from the hallway, but neither of us had taken it. And from that day on, I never pulled a prank on my sister again.